might be him up ahead. Let's rock and roll!
Like I said, platformers make up the majority of the NES library. And looky here, another great platformer game. There's pretty much only one thing I need to say about Wizards and Warriors. Both Rare and Acclaim were involved with this game's creation. And so far, every Rare title published for a Nintendo platform is good. So yeah. The NES definitely favored the run-and-gun genre. And one of the best out of these games is Blaster Master. Riding around in Sophia III, you drive around the world and blow the crap out of everything, while listening to one of the best music tracks on the NES. Awesome. Oh yeah, it's Batman time. If you're not familiar with the NES Batman, that sucks for you. Batman is an excellent platformer game with top-notch weapons, well-balanced difficulty, kick-ass music, and, well, Batman. Also, it's one of the very few good movie licensed games. And that's saying something. Sunsoft, you get shit done. What can you say? Double Dragon is a classic. It's without doubt one of the most recognized titles on the 8-bit platform. There are times when you love a certain game and can't explain it why. Well, this is an example. If you know what goes on in Double Dragon, you know what I'm talking about. It can't be explained. If there's one puzzle game I'd recommend to anyone, it would have to be Dr. Mario. Upon its release, Dr. Mario pulled a John Romero and made Tetris its bitch. There were many significant improvements applied to Dr. Mario that were not present in Tetris, such as two-player mode, tricky gameplay mechanics, and the most addictive tune in the history of video games. When you pop this fucker in, be prepared to lose sleep, and hire a therapist. Just a warning. In case you haven't noticed, the most distinguishable aspect about the NES, besides its beast controller, is insane difficulty. And if you want hard, oh my GameCube! Ghouls and Ghosts is the game for you. Believe it or not, rescuing your girlfriend from Satan twice is actually pretty fun. Just expect to scream in agony whenever you take a step. I love this game. Wait, does this make me a masochist? Oh well. Speaking of hard, here we got Zelda 2. Being the first and only side-scrolling Zelda game, Zelda 2 is definitely worthy of being on the NES. Why? It's cryptic, it's a side-scroller, and it's harder than a Steelix's prosthetic wang. I'm sorry for making that analogy. But don't worry. Along the way, Link can get his sword, gilded, which restores your energy. If you can't find a lovely maiden to heal you, just talk to the elderly woman of the town and she'll... Wait, what are you doing?
Oh God! Oh, it's everywhere! Oh God!
Moving on. Hell yes! Ninja Turtles own! While the first two Ninja Turtle games were a huge disappointment, Konami finally gave us the shredder-slicing, ass-kicking, turtle action-packed, blissful cartridge that is the Manhattan Project. It took them 2 tries, but they finally got it right. When it comes to the 5th-gen console ports, this is the closest you can get to the original TMNT arcade legend. And that should be commended. If you own an NES, there is no chance of you not owning this cartridge. Super Mario Bros. / Duck Hunt do not need explanation. The only thing better than owning both games separately is having them on one cartridge. It's awesome when you have Duck Hunt and the great granddaddy Super Mario Bros. All bundled into one. When it comes to dirty, rotten cheapskates, you can't get any better than Scrooge McDuck. When this old crank was introduced to his first video game debut, I would imagine that gamers back then were somewhat skeptical. But wouldn't you know it? It passed! DuckTales is a combination of the platforming we all know and love, as well as some of the best tunes on the 8-bit era. Ah, such nostalgia.